obviously somewhere between the two.
Perhaps that brawny blacksmith, whose huge frame caught his eye as he rode slowly by the large open shop window with lattice shutters tied on either side. He pulled the reins and stopped to get a better view, but the smith moved. So he slowly rode on a little further and was able to catch another glimpse of him through the large open door with the inscription overhead, which read, Barabbas's blacksmith shop, plain and fancy metalwork.
He could see right away that this was a hard-working man. Certainly he was not rich like Benjamin, neither did he look to be as ignorant as the beggar was. Yes, this must be his man. He'd give it a try. Beads of sweat poured from Barabbas's forehead as the crackling sparks flew upward, some of them hitting and bouncing off his rough black leather apron like so many flitting fireflies.
As he finished the plain bronze plate he had been working on, he hung it up to cool.
He wiped his face with his huge white handkerchief and sighed deeply. The day had been long, and he was hot and tired of standing over that scorching fire all day long,
making plain plates and kitchen knives. He'd had few calls that week for the fancy plates and shields he so loved to make. If only he were rich, like that cloth shop owner who had stopped by a few days ago to replace a kitchen knife his wife had lost.
When Barabbas asked him how his business was, he replied, Not too good right now, but I don't care. I only keep my shop open for something to do.
If I had this man's money, he thought, then I could make what I wanted to, or not work at all if I didn't feel like it.
Perhaps he should try raising his prices and cutting corners. He did want his family to enjoy the best, but it was the Romans that really bothered him. They'd take every shekel you make in taxes if they could. And what do they do with it all? He wondered. This city could certainly stand some improvements, but any improvements we hear of never seem to reach us here. They don't care for our people. They'd kill you if they got a chance, just like they did my grandfather. After he'd given them his best efforts, they turned on him and crucified him along with the Spartan captives on the Appian Way. Although Barabbas was only 12 years old, and that was over 40 years ago, he would despise them forever for that. They're all tyrants, he thought, and murderers at heart. And the local rulers aren't any better. There's that putrid puppet Pilate, always bowing and scraping to Caesar and his hired helper Herod. Everyone knows they add to the taxes they're required by Rome to collect in order to fill their own coffers. Laws are passed for their political expediency rather than for the good they might do. And then there's those Roman soldiers, always parading up and down. They've even added a tax of their own, supposedly for their upkeep. Yes, things are truly in a terrible state. All these thoughts were running wildly through his mind that afternoon when the door opened and in walked one of them, a Roman soldier in the flesh. He cringed. The unwelcome visitor inquired about the sword hanging on the back wall, but when told the price declined to buy it, saying, I'll wait until the next increase in the soldier's tax. There's another half-shekel raise scheduled, you know. As if it wasn't high enough already. The smith nodded patronizingly, though all the while something inside of him wanted to take down the sword and thrust it into the soldier's back as he turned to leave. But he thought better of his compulsion and reached for another piece of bronze instead. As he carried the metal to the hearth, he made every effort to present a calm exterior. In a moment the soldier was gone, but his exit was followed by the entrance of another figure who was very strange-looking. He wore a pitch-black tunic with a wide white belt and a black hat with a white ribbon. His stern face sported a big black mustache, but no beard. The mustache curved down and then up on the sides like one of those fancy door-knockers Barabbas used to make. It connected nicely with his bushy black and white sideburns. He looked very strange indeed and a bit frightening. He stood for a moment looking the place over. Then he smiled politely and motioned for the proprietor to come to him. Yes, sir, Barabbas said politely. I'd have come quicker, only I was working with that plate there.